Don't get nervous. It's okay. I mean, we're live right now.
I'm not nervous.
This guy,
You look a little nervous. Can we get this guy a tissue for his sweat? I see a sweat
See
dripping
this
right
brow
here.
right here?
That's probably
It
product.
is. Whew.
Guys, we're right back here again live with you today on Thursday, Century Orange booth number 11962. We're here with probably one of my two favorite guests.
Thank you.
Chris, between
Oh, let me
you-
guess. He's your buddy too.
We are
I think
buddies.
Chris would
I say
agree
we're
with
buddies
that.
too. Yeah, I say buddies.
That's so
My
cool.
boy, or our boy Phil with All That Remains is probably my second favorite, to be honest with
now
you.
Phil's awesome.
Having a
dude.
conversation with him is actually pretty
he's
enlightening.
good.
But you got a lot of stuff going on, so
Yeah.
let's get right into it. First thing I want to talk about is your Battleline Tactical.
Sure.
For those of you guys that don't know, Chris and his crew, does Boone still do this with you?
Actually, no. Boone's moved on.
Okay.
It's Ben Morgan and Benny Galassic are the main two
Okay.
that are lead instructors that assist and help with firearms and the combatives portion. Then we also have Chris Donor, who is our edge weapons instructor, and he was my edge weapon instructor 20 years ago
Okay.
when we started, and he's got a background with RBWI, but he's also Marshall Blade Concepts. Michael Janich
Well,
has been
way to
his
bring that
instructor.
one up.
Yeah,
That's-
nice name drop,
yeah,
right?
that's cool.
You like
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
That's pretty
So these
I'm
guys-
surprised everybody knows it. Maybe everybody does.
What these guys are doing is they're traveling all over. It's kind of a tour that they do. And they
It's
go to-
MTT, mobile training
Right,
team.
right. And it works out perfect because they're coming to these areas. Was it Daytona? You guys had a
We
spot
used to have
Daytona?
one in DeLand, but now we've moved to Ocala. Full
Okay.
Spectrum Warrior is where we use in Ocala, Florida. We have a good main range at Tread Proof, which is Dixon, Tennessee.
Okay.
Defender Outdoors is one of our primary ranges. That's out of Fort Worth. And then those three are our main that we use. And then we go to Kiefer, Oklahoma, Iron Gal Firearms with Eddie Rangi over there. And,
Are you always looking for new locations?
We do. We are. We actually have something in Bangor, Maine. I've never been to Maine, so that's awesome.
Who picked that?
Ben, the guy you met, Ben, he's the one that fixed all these spots. We're
Wow.
actually going to New Hampshire too.
Oh, nice.
Like, oh my gosh, we're going to New Hampshire to train.
No
They actually
kidding.
But there's a lot of gun companies in New Hampshire.
there's a ton of them.
Yeah.
And then we are working in trying to get one in Visalia, back in Congressman Nunez's district out there in Visalia in Northern California. It's just so we do, but it always comes down to how well they work with us. And I've learned it doesn't matter how many. You can have 8 million followers out there on social media.
But
It
not
equate-
everybody acts on it.
And it equates to nothing unless the
Yeah.
range helps you fill your
right.
courses.
Absolutely.
It doesn't work. And then
Yeah.
one last one. Chicago is probably our most supportive
Chicago.
area. I know you'd be shocked. Chicago is the most supportive of us and myself, Tanto or Battleline. And we actually use Battleline Defense, Daniel Lombard's range down in Crete, Illinois.
Okay.
And we get law enforcement officers from South Chicago, and those guys, doesn't matter how much they've been through, they love it. They put in work. It's motivating, motivates me, and,
So
and
what
I
is
love
it that you
that.
guys are doing?
We do everything from your basic handgun
Okay.
to vehicle defense, active shooter courses. We do edge weapons courses. We do strictly combative courses,
Yep.
but I let the subject matter experts do that. I'll
Yep.
get in there and be their dummy that they can beat up and cut.
No, dude.
But and then we just do advanced carbine, full spectrum warrior. We call it the advanced gunfighter. It really is. It's a carbine course that you just add some stress to.
He's underselling what they do. These guys, if you go on his Facebook or anywhere else and look at any of the Battleline trainings, a lot of the guys are uploading video to
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
And it's an intense course. I mean, there's a
We
lot
have-
of stuff to these
But
guys.
you know
do.
what? If you're seeing the movie 13 Hours and you've seen Tanto, I am that guy. We goof, we have fun, we joke, because we want new people to come into the Second Amendment industry, come into the gun industry.
Yep.
And when you have that intimidating instructor that,
yeah.
I shave my arms and my
That's
my
how I
nose
got
line.
my credentials.
Oh my gosh.
I know how to put up with the best of them.
But that scares people away, and,
It does.
and then they
It
come in,
does.
they see us laugh, and they see us goof, and then we get the training, and then we goof and laugh. I'm gonna give you an example, and it's a beautiful example. We had a 7-year-old lady come in, first time at Cheyenne Mountain Gun Club there in Colorado Springs. Never shot before, and she was with some guys that had shot. Well, we had some Las Vegas PD guys that came down, and long story short, she couldn't even rack a slide. We had a course 2 months later, and she'd been working with Ben, instructor. She came to that course. It was a home defense course.
She was an operator.
And she's clearing.
Nice.
And I was like, and she was so happy.
Yeah.
And that was what made me happy. It wasn't that she was
Absolutely.
it's that she was smiling, she was confident. And I think the people that don't like the gun community don't get it. They
Yeah.
miss that.
Absolutely.
That's
You're bringing
right.
confidence, and you're bringing people in that she's not going to be a mass shooter. No, that's not going to happen.
Yeah,
That's
come
not
on.
us. You're bringing good people
Are
in.
you
and
guys?
that's what
Where are you guys based out of?
I'm in Omaha, Nebraska. So I do have a range there, inner 10, small range. But
Okay. Because you did mention Colorado, so is that a place that?
Ben's in Colorado Springs.
Oh, I'm in Colorado Springs.
So
Is
that's
Ben single?
No, Ben is married. I'm
okay.
sorry.
It's okay. I was just kidding anyway.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. He is, and if Ben's wife's watching, she'll beat both of our asses.
We're just
She's
kidding.
Sorry,
Okay,
sorry,
cut.
Mrs. Morgan.
Why does this have to be live? We can't edit that
that
out.
was
I'm
funny,
so
huh?
embarrassed
We don't want to
right now.
edit. Don't edit.
That was
Sorry,
funny,
Mrs.
awkward.
Morgan. Yeah, I'm in Colorado. I went to school at Mesa College. Played football at Mesa College, Colorado Mesa.
Okay.
Family's still in Grand Junction.
So do you guys do a lot of classes in Colorado?
We do, because that's a home state there. So
Nice.
Ben does a lot of training. Even if I come out at Rocky Mountain Gun Club, we used to use Cheyenne Mountain Gun Club. That was it.
Exactly. I know
you
everybody.
Guys, you guys can
the
have
RSOs
your
are on
cool.
there.
You're a
Have
cool
that.
guy.
Yeah.
Cheyenne Mountain again. They're like us.
Yeah.
Like, hey, come on here. Heck yeah, man. Come on,
Well,
train.
let's talk about something that you're doing that's kind of new
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
The Battleline Podcast.
Podcast.
This is something new. It's not something I was aware of, and
No.
I'm excited to hear about it.
The gentleman Ian Scotto, he was the engineer for Andrew Wilkow. He was the engineer for David Webb Show. For those that aren't from the conservative
name
radio,
dropping,
yeah, I
still
mean, I
name
know,
dropping.
because
It's
I
the
know
big
this
guys.
audience knows
Right.
those
Oh,
names
absolutely
definitely.
they do, yeah.
And then Ian also ran Soft Rep Radio, Hurricane
Okay,
Media.
yeah.
Well, I don't know what's going on there with Soft Rep, because I don't even care.
There's a lot
whatever,
going on
but,
over there.
But Ian left, and I'd been on Soft Rep Radio, and I've been on Wilkow Show quite a
Yep,
bit,
yep.
and. He left and he said, "Hey, do you want to do your own podcast?" And I'm like, "Do I have to do anything?" He goes, "No, just go on and talk." He says, "I'll do everything."
Well, that
Okay.
makes it easy because let
Okay.
me tell you, there's a lot of work
There
involved.
is.
Yeah.
And also, too, is Ian's been in the business with Sirius and iHeart, and then also on the podcast. And Soft Rep Radio, has a huge
Okay.
following, and Ian's part of that build-up.
That's nice.
It was a no-brainer. And
How
then
long has your podcast been around for?
it's only our 10th episode.
Okay.
And we've had great guys, Andre Arlovsky, and I'm name dropping again,
yeah.
but I got to.
I'm like, wow, that's cool.
Pat Militek, but we also had a former Gary Brugman, we're trying to get a pardon. He was a Border Patrol agent that was federal prison for excessive force, it was ridiculous.
What is Pat Militek doing now?
Pat Militek, actually, he's going to fight. He's actually in a boxing match in May.
Oh, a boxing match.
He's
Okay.
going to box. No,
Not
Pat.
full-blown
What kind of
MMA.
fight were you thinking?
Well,
You know, at this age,
Yeah,
on
right.
Pat.
well, you guys aren't.
No, we aren't
by
spring
my
chickens.
age.
We aren't spring chickens
no,
anymore.
not
I would.
at all.
I don't want to
But
get
still,
hit in the face
we're
anymore.
not at that age where we go and fight people.
I don't want to get hit in the face. It
No, me
hurts.
neither.
What?
But-
I mean, I wouldn't mind actually a nose shot.
Go ahead, Paul. Right,
Right.
hit her in the
Right.
nose right now.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
don't do. We do not. No, we don't.
That makes-
Domestic. No, we don't hit women. But Pat actually has his own podcast as well called The Conspiracy Theory.
Okay.
And Pat is a super genius. You look at Pat, and I know he's been punched in the head a lot.
Right.
And he is a UFC Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
But the dude is just is brilliant. And he's also with this boxing match. He's introducing his new pay-per-view channel.
Okay.
So Pat is an entrepreneur as well, and he's just an interesting person. And then I know if you guys watch InfoWars, I'm still friends with Alex Jones. He'll be on our show. We're getting him on our
Okay.
show here soon. And then we're just Kaya Jones, and then Nate Boyer, some other guests we'll have on. But it doesn't matter. It can be a big name. It doesn't have to be a big name. It's just we want stories. At the end of it, it's always inspirational. It's always about. We don't get into the politics.
There's enough people doing that
No,
right now.
everybody.
Yeah.
We get into. We talk a little bit about it, but we get into stories. Like how did you overcome? How'd you overcome adversity? And again, with Ian Scotto there, it's professionally done,
Right.
and we're on because of him, we're able to get on all the
Spotify,
platforms,
iTunes.
Spotify, iTunes, iHeart, and everything, every other YouTube, every other media outlet, platform out there. So, and all I got to do is ramble and be my jackass self. It's pretty good.
Well, you're good at it.
I'm
so-
good at being a jackass. Yeah,
I
no,
know, I can't even get a word in right now.
Sorry.
I'm like,
Yeah. Well, we're definitely going to put
Who's the
some-
strange guy here filming this with his cell phone?
okay,
Where'd he come
first
from?
of all, I don't even know. He's like a major stalker.
some stalker.
Yeah. I'm like, okay,
Stop
we
stalking
get it.
me.
we
Stop
get
stalking
it.
me.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he's stalking me.
Sorry,
You're
sorry,
not as
Paul.
free,
You're
sorry.
losing positive
Right.
control of your own show. My
Exactly
fault.
right. Well, she's actually going live onto her Instagram. And
Yeah,
he's the
so that's a
camera
little
guy,
awkward for you to
So
say
it's
hello to my
actually legit.
Instagram.
Did you see that snot bubble come out?
Yeah.
Can you edit that out?
No, unfortunately, that's
gonna be
the
the-
thing about live that gets me every time.
It's all right. We'll get more viewers because of that anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
That's the real.
Well, we know you have a library full of really good books that you've already been
Yeah.
a part of.
Yeah,
Let's
I've been
talk
lucky.
about the next one that you have out.
Yeah,
Patriot's
the
Creed.
Patriots Creed came out the end of last year. I just blessing to be with the same publisher that started 13 Hours, Heshat Publishing, which is a big book publisher. Did the Ranger Way, did well. So they said, will you do another one? I said, sure. But this one, they said, do another one about some of your other stories in Iraq, Afghanistan. I said, guys, we don't need to do it about me. There's so many guys out there that have gone through even more than I have that people don't know about.
Okay.
Why don't we tell their story? So that's what the Patriot's Creed is about. It's a faith-based book. I know you'll find it in the military section, but it really is more of a motivational faith-based book.
Nice.
It's got people's stories, military, PJ, we got a pararescue guy who burned in and died on the drop zone, who actually came back, was revived, and actually went back to become a PJ again, Scotty Guerin. Tom Block, a Ranger who lost his eye in an IED attack, actually was a mine attack, and how he overcame that adversity and went on to work for Homeland Security. And it's at the end of it, it's just how did they go through their situations?
Yeah.
It's not just combat. What happened to them, and then how did they overcome it? Now what are they doing in their lives? And they're not in anymore. A lot of the guys aren't, but they're still succeeding in life.
I got you.
So it's called How to Live a Heroic Life. And there's so many books out there about war and combat. 13 Hours is one of them.
Yeah.
But I wanted to do something. Can we talk about other guys, and then also how have they overcome and become civilians and still are being heroes?
Right.
And it's amazing. And it was a way for me to kind of give back, because people have given to me so much. Veterans thank me. Well, how can I get their stories out? And so there's little snips of me in there, but it's not. It is a book about other guys.
It's got the same level of quality as Ranger Way, which is a great motivational type book.
It's the same. It's in the same line.
I can't wait to see that.
Thanks.
I need to ask you something that you and I text back and forth when it went down. The whole embassy thing. When our embassy got attacked. All right.
Yeah.
Clearly, you had first-hand view of what happened in Benghazi.
Yep.
Did you see? And I'm saying this sarcastically. Did you see any differences the way that was handled back there when you guys had to fight everybody off in Benghazi? What actually happened this time?
Well, and you saw, people were starting to do the comparison. Like, stop! They're not even close to being the same instant. Baghdad was daytime. Baghdad was without weapons. And if you want to be realistic, the Department of State still failed, because these guys got onto the compound, going 3 separate checkpoints, and actually still got on the embassy grounds and still did damage to it.
Should have never made it.
They shouldn't have made it there. So on the State Department side, and I spoke out, and people were upset about it. Oh, no, I'm telling you, they still got in there.
Yeah.
It was a failure on the State Department side. But then I said, on the other side of the fact, Trump did his job.
Yeah.
That's all he had to do. And I said, I'm not going to high-five him. He did his job.
Right.
But that also shows how easy it could have been for Obama. That's why there is underlying things of why he didn't do it. Why he just didn't pick up the phone and give the response, because that's how easy it is. QRF, get him moving. And to me, again, I don't think it went above and beyond. Trump didn't do anything above and beyond, but he did his presidential responsibility. He alerted the QRF force. They got there on time. And I'll high-five the guys that are going there, the Marines and the 25th ID that got there.
Right.
That's awesome. So yeah, the response, of course, to be sarcastic, Trump did his job, but in our case, Obama didn't do anything.
Right.
So yeah.
Right. No one did their job except you guys, actually. And it wasn't even your job to do, to be honest with you.
But it is our job. We Americans were there. We had to go.
I was disappointed in after the whole Benghazi thing, and in all honesty, I heard you say this, and I didn't realize this. I was disappointed that you guys weren't debriefed to a certain degree as far as how can we prevent this kind of stuff from happening.
Actually, we did, and they didn't listen to us.
Well, they didn't apply anything that they learned from you guys.
Well, the CIA debriefed us. State Department never once came to us. And
why wouldn't you do that?
Because that's pride, brother. That's State Department and pride. And when you have insecure people in charge, it hurts their ego to hear that maybe they're doing something a little bit wrong. Now, I think there was a few differences. They did start to train and prepare for fire being used as a weapon.
Okay.
And that's what I heard. I never saw it.
Yeah.
But other than that, no, we didn't have any input. And what we heard on that is Boone and myself actually worked with the State Department before we went to the OGA side of the fort in Baghdad. In fact, we moved up to very high levels in the security elements of the State Department and their high threat protection, which later became WHIPS, which is what it is now.
Okay.
And so it was, it's not like we didn't have any experience within the State Department as well.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of slap in the face, but what are you going to do? They made a mistake. It showed it again. Did they come to us again? No. Well, okay, we'll keep making the same mistakes, and guys are going to die, and they're not going to care. And it's hard to say.
I don't get it, though. I mean, I understand the whole ego portion of it, but if you have the whole point of they having a really big ego is that you always want to be the best guy. Well, fine. Guess what? I'm going to find the best guy to make me look better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In all honesty, I mean, it's not like you outrank the guy, whoever's making that call.
That-
I would have sought you out and gotten the information. Yeah, he probably going to take credit for it, but he may save a couple of lives along the way.
And that's the thing. Yeah, that's how I am too. I don't know. That's why when we look at Battleline, am I teaching the knife course? No, because I don't know that.
Yes.
I'm actually when he's teaching the course, I'm actually in the course with him, learning more knife stuff,
Right.
learning more combatives. I'm the punching dummy when Benny does the combatives because he knows that better than I do. I want to learn it. So but State Department in Roslyn and DC, they don't learn like that. It's all pride. They know everything, even though they don't, and it's always going to. It's always going to be like that. I don't mean to break people's hearts, but that's how it's been for years, and it's still going to stay like that.
And it's disappointing to me as a, quote, civilian, because you know way more than we all do about how it works, the sausage making process.
Yeah.
And when you're disappointed, I know that I don't know the full story, so I'm really disappointed because you know what could be done and how things can be fixed, and they don't get fixed.
And they won't get fixed.
Yeah.
They'll get fixed maybe. Where I tell guys, if you're going over and you're working overseas, I said, once you get to your base, okay, you have that SOPs that they're giving you when you're training, when you're in DC, when you're CONUS, but once you get to that base, now fix them to model what you need at that base. Put everything else aside, use it as a guideline, but now start working with your team. It's like we did in Benghazi with Roan and Tig and Boone. It's that we had SOPs, but then we utilized and we actually refined them to what worked at our base.
Right.
And that's what you guys need to do. And so the guys on the ground are still doing awesome.
Yeah.
You got to put up with the bullshit in DC and in Northern Virginia.
Have we heard that story before?
Exactly.
Right?
So if people want to sign up for your classes, where can they go?
They can go to battlelinetactical.net, or they can go to my website, kristantoparanto.net, and it's up there. And they'll see a course. I don't hold as many as I used to because I have a 4-year-old, an 11-year-old, and a 15-year-old. And I want to be home.
Yeah,
so I try to do one a month. And just take a look where they're at. I try to stay close, but who doesn't want to go to Florida in February? So of course I have range in Florida.
Right.
And please sign up. And if you are the new shooter, we want you. And you're gonna.
Okay, why did you look at me thinking I'm the new
Actually, I thought I looked at Paul. Didn't I look at Paul?
Yeah.
And if you are the new shooter,
Right.
Help, I don't know
I
how to
bet
shoot.
you could. No,
You know
what?
I don't know how to shoot.
And women are the best shooters in the world. You
Like
know
I've
why?
never even shot a gun. I don't even know what I'm doing here.
All you women out, shut up. It's getting crazy. Women, they're the best shooters in the world because they're not thick-headed men that come in thinking they know everything. They actually listen.
Yeah, they do.
And then at the end of the day, they're drilling
Much
it.
better shooters
Oh,
than
dude,
men.
because women actually listen. Amigos like us stupid
They
men.
listen to non-spouses. I need to point that out. They listen to non-spouses, and I
don't
think
know.
a lot of people would agree
I mean,
with that.
I've trained quite a few boyfriends in my days.
Yeah, notice
Successfully.
these are ex-boyfriends.
These are
that-
ex-boyfriends.
right?
Thank
So-
you. I was letting you say that.
Right.
You have that relationship. I didn't know if I could go too far by saying that.
So, well, look, tell us about Maxim. You've been repping them for a while now.
Maxim,
They actually
yeah.
have some cool new stuff out this year. Let's talk about that.
Well, Maxim Defense, when I started with them, they just doing braces, and then Mike has moved on to the PDX line, which won, I think, won Best in SHOT Show last year.
Yeah,
They're
it
best
did.
And I have 3 of them. Sorry, guys, they're awesome. I have a
Whatever.
300 blackout. This
Yeah.
5.56,
Do you want
7.62.
to hand one of those over? Maybe
Yeah,
you can
actually I
start with
will.
one?
Paul, I'll send you. No,
Oh,
I'm keeping them
Paul.
all. No.
well, you can't shoot, so.
Yeah, you're right.
Ooh, damn. Okay. And then, but then Mike, we talked like, we're in the shorty game, we're in the braces, and Mike's like, well, we need to get into the longer range games. And no, we're not going to go into the long range. We're going to keep it in the tactical mindset, the tactical, the operator.
So what would
So
that distance be?
508. Well, we went to the extent, we get longer barrels. So we got the 508 now, MDX line, which
Okay.
is the 8.5 inch barrel. The MDX line 510, 10.5 inch barrel. Now we have the AR platform, which you can put in the long, that 16 inch barrel.
Yeah.
So it's still, we're still staying within the operator guy that's clearing rooms, guy that's going in a vehicle that needs a gun, he can get out real quick. The guy that needs to put some in his go bag. But also to reach that, because a lot of civilians that go and shoot, they don't want that little shorty. They want their standard, and I get that. So that's why Mike bringing out the AR line. But it's always configured with our whatever butt stock we're using or brace we're using. And now we have different generations
You
of
guys make
braces.
excellent stocks. I love the
They
way
are
that it looks.
fantastic, and the CCS stock, and now now we also have the Gen 7, because guys, there are a lot of people that wanted the Air platform that didn't want that shorty brace because they wanted that good cheap stock
Yeah.
world. Well, Mike, listen, And now we've got a brace that actually is extended. You have a piece of metal that much farther out, so guys that want to extend it farther out and get that good cheap stock weld, they can, which is what you need on that AR line.
Yep.
And then they also partnered with, again, I got lucky. I fell in with Fort Scott Munitions, who's probably one of the best, if not the best, ammo maker out there right now, guys. They're fantastic. And the Kraft family, so much integrity. Love those people. Well, Mike partnered with them to make an ammo specifically for those shorter guns because of that short barrel, because you're going to need more gas, but you just need more oomph in that. And now Maxim Defense has their own ammo line, and I should say we do, and it's Fort Scott Munitions ammo. So I get the best shorties and I get the best ammo when I go train at Battleline. And when people come to Battleline, I always let them hear some ammo just so they can try it. And the thing that's more important than even that, it's that the integrity of the company. Sorry about that. Sorry, I hit your fluff there. The integrity of the companies, which is always look at first. You can have a great product, but if your house is just a shambles, if you don't have integrity, you don't have good customer service, you're not putting your heart and soul behind the product. I don't want to be a part of it.
No,
and they do. They definitely do.
And that's one thing I can say about you, Kris. And from an integrity standpoint, and just a good dude. I mean,
thanks.
You've aligned yourself with all the right people.
I just feel lucky, man. The sun shines on a dog's ass every once in a while, and it's shined on me a few times. My wife will tell you that every once in a while too. and your ex-boyfriends probably would tell you that if they weren't your exes.
If they weren't dead.
Whatever. I'm still friends with all of them. Okay.
That's actually.
That's pretty good.
Speaks highly. Yeah, it did.
Well, all but like one.
Okay, well.
But, you know.
We cannot confirm nor deny that, so we don't have any first-hand experience with that. Out of curiosity, Louisiana. You're going into Louisiana too, though, right?
Yeah, to Shreveport, Red River Gun Range, I think it's what it's called. And that one is fun. The vehicle defense courses are so much fun because you get to learn and how to fight. We do hand-to-hand in the vehicle, but we also learn how to shoot and fight within and out of the vehicle. So it's a lot of shooting from vehicle platforms, shooting using the vehicle as cover. And it's funny that even though there's nobody shooting at you, and I think it's funny, when you get somebody that's never fought from a vehicle, when you get them in that vehicle, you can just see their intensity. Just like guys, we just had a range, relax, calm down, but it's because their motivation, and they just get after it. And to me, that's motivating.
Absolutely.
And you'll see some of the videos where we're doing vehicle defense, where I'm shooting there with them, and I'm getting after it, and I'm just yelling in their ear, not yelling me, just happy.
Right.
And it's a blast, man. That's going to be fun. Shreveport's a beautiful, beautiful city.
I'm going to go. I'm going to reach out to you or Colin. And
get with Colin,
I'm definitely going to go up there. We'll get some content for the show and all that. That'll be a lot of fun.
And we'll give props to Evans Financial. Colin Evans is the one that's bringing us out there. Huge veteran supporter. And I love Shreveport. I think it's an underrated city.
And of course, 556 Tactical. There's no slouches either. They make some pretty awesome stuff.
They do good stuff. And whenever you got the Evans family involved, it's going to be good stuff.
Yeah. Well, Colin will be around here in a little while. Hopefully we catch up with him. Anything else going on this year? Anything else you want to talk about?
No, bro. I think that's pretty much it. You know, I'm just trying. I try to do as much as I need to be out there, and you know, we got to make a living. But the biggest thing for me now is just spending more time at home with my family.
That's good.
And that's the most important to me nowadays.
Now, the book Patriot's Creed, where do we find that?
You can find it anywhere. It's on Amazon. It's on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million. I actually have them at my house. I don't upsell them. Actually, a lot of them are cheaper, and I'll sign it for you. If you go to KrisParanto.net, buy one off my website, and they're just sitting right there. I go home, I sign it, I package it up, I send it in the mail, and it's like, honestly, they're cheaper than what you buy on Amazon. Because I think my signature actually devalues the book, to be honest with you. But I've got 13 hours of range away and the Patriot's Creed right there at the house, but you can pick it up at any bookstore as well.
Are you doing any kind of book tour? That's kind of doing it?
I do. Actually, I have one coming up in Chicago at the gun range. It's not Longshore Gun Range. Gosh, I forgot the dang gun range. I can pull up my phone. Can I do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let me look. Can I do that? Is that okay? This is live. This is my kids.
You're still running, huh? You look good.
I still am running. I actually ran the strip last night. I'm having a cold, and I'm trying to get all this broken out. All right, so we're going to be there. Sorry, guys. Prepared. Somebody do something like the little
humming, like the little elevator
do the
music
little
or
elevator
something?
music. Okay, book signing, and of course did it. What? Oh yeah, my wife didn't put it on there. Well, it's going to be Saturday on the 1st.
Okay.
It's actually at one of the. It's not Longshore Gun Range. I'll have to check on my website. Check on my website. Yes, it is on my website. Go to BattleLineTactical.net or KrisParanto.com or .net, and it's on there, and there'll be a book signing there. But I do, and you just have to check on the website itself.
Okay.
You know, no, they're fun. They're good.
Okay.
They're good times. Still have a great time.
And let's double back real quick on information on Battleline Podcast. Just do a search for Battleline Podcast.
If you go on my website, KrisParanto.net, you'll see the menu drop down,
Okay.
and you can just click it, and it'll take you to those links. And plus the 14th Hour Foundation, which my foundation has been. I'm happy. I'm very happy. Been able to donate close to $50,000 to people over the year, to veterans, contractors, first responders, from anything from a special needs child that needed to go to school in New York City, $7,000, to a military sergeant, a sergeant that couldn't pay her car bill. We paid $300 to get her, pay the monthly car bill. So
Nice.
it's a good feeling to do that. So, but that's all on my website. Just drop down, just click on the side of it.
Very nice.
And yeah, and see my ugly mug a little bit more.
Well, Kris, it's always good to see you again. I'm not just saying in a patronizing way. You're one of my favorite guests to talk to.
Thanks, brother.
I know my viewers love it when it runs on Fox. Everybody just absolutely loves it. So
Tell them thank you.
happy to have you back. Hopefully, we'll catch up with you. Well, I will reach out to you guys. I'll be in Shreveport. I'll meet you up there.
And you have my direct line now. There ain't no go-between.
Yeah,
You-
right.
All you got to reach out directly to me.
That'll work. Thank you, Kris. Thank you so
you're
much.
awesome.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
She's awesome. She's the color right here.
She's
That's the
okay.
color comment?
She does have an ego problem, so you have to watch that.
So I got one too.
Yeah, right.
It happens.
So I can feel the positives right
yeah.
here bouncing off.
There's some energy, some north-south energy right there.
No, thank you for having me.
Thank
It's
you.
so great to meet you. Paul, I love you, man.
Thank you, brother.
And I don't know.